Now that you have set your strategic decisions, it's time to test whether your business can be profitable under different market conditions. This process is known as break-even analysis, and what you should check in this step: how many customers you need to acquire and how much each customer should spend on your products to reach profitability. Basically, you can try and test different levels of market penetration and average revenue per user that will be used to check if you can achieve profitability with that assumption. Remember here that you're just making a forecast. These are just estimations. They are meant to guide you in the decision-making process and will never provide you your actual results. Indeed, your performance in the simulation depends on your ability to predict, to forecast what will be your market penetration and your average revenue per user. If you select a number that makes no sense to the case you're selecting, to the country you're entering in your strategy, your result will be totally different from your forecasts. So your forecast is just to help you. So just to give some examples, in the simulation, the market revenue will be basically equal to the population of the country multiplied by the market penetration multiplied by the average revenue per user. For sake of comparison, just to let you know, in Brazil, nowadays, Hotmart achieves something like 6% of market penetration, and the average consumption per user, so average revenue per user, is something like $50 in a 3-year period. So, every time that you use more than 6% for a new market you're entering, you're assuming that you are going to be more successful in the target market compared to the traditional market here in Brazil. So probably more than 6% of market penetration, you're being so optimistic about your results. In terms of our average revenue per user is about the same, but remember that if you're entering in rich countries, then the average revenue per user will be higher because people have more money to buy things. So let's give one example. Suppose that you're entering here in Mexico and you're expecting to achieve 5% of market penetration with an average revenue per user of $60. So what will be your market revenue? You basically multiply these three metrics and then your revenue will be $249 million in the target market. Considering these assumptions, you can do the sensitivity analysis. So check what will be your potential results for different levels of market penetration and average revenue per user in the target market. The idea is to check what should be the minimum market penetration and average revenue per user to succeed in the target market. If you need to be too optimistic to make the decision and succeed with profit and customers in the target market, probably you are doing some wrong decision. That can be the country you choose, your entry modes, your type of adaptation, or even your budget. Now I can check and test the sensitivity of my analysis in the tab Estimated Outputs. Now I'm assuming that I am in Canada, and let's check here. Let's say what will happen if I have 1% of market penetration in Canada and an average revenue per user of $100. So 1% of 40 million, it will give me 400 million users in Canada, and multiply by 100, this will be my revenue in the market. This is the amount of money that basically I need to pay for the producers because they receive 90% of the sales, I just received 10% of them, and then my company revenues will be $400 million in Canada. If that happens, what will be my fixed costs? So these are fixed costs and variable costs. So my gross profit will be $2.8 million. My percentual margin is 70% in this case, comparing my gross profit divided by the market revenues. And the other decisions will cost me $6.9 million, meaning that my earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization will be a loss of $4 million. And in this case, I'm going to lose $4 million with my operation. Okay, Let's say that I increase here my market penetration. I think that 1% is not a good, I think that I will have more users than that. So let's go to the extreme, a really optimistic scenario. Let's put 10. If I put 10, it means that 4 million users I will have in the market and my profit will be, whoa, incredible. But remember that I just told you that in Brazil they are reaching 6% of the population. So it's really unlikely that 10% of the population in Canada will use my apps. So let's try something more reasonable. Let's put like a 6. Let's say that I will have the same performance as Brazil in terms of market penetration. In this case, I will still have an impressive profit in this target market. Okay, one thing that can help you in defining if your budget and your assumption for market penetration is reasonable is to use the customer acquisition cost. The customer acquisition cost is basically your marketing budget. So I put here in the market budget 5 million. If I divide that by 2.4 million, then I'll have a customer acquisition cost of $2.1. In this industry, the average is between 0.5 and $15. So it means that might make sense. It's feasible to achieve this number of customers with my marketing budget. But let's put a 10% to see what will happen then. With 10%, I'm still reasonable with my input, with my CAC. That will be a similar number. But for instance, if I put here 1% of budget, then it's not something reasonable. Now my CAC will be like $0.2 to acquire each customer, but the average in the industry is 0.5 and 15. So I can do one of both to be reasonable, because for sure this will never happen. It's impossible, almost impossible to invest this amount of money and to attract 10% of the population in Canada. It's almost impossible. So I need to change two things. Or I should increase my budget, let's return to 6 million, and in this case it is still reasonable, but I'm being optimistic as well. Let's say that 5% is something more reasonable. So probably something like this can be something reasonable for my target market. For the average revenue per user, you have a similar approach. For instance, here I'm assuming $100, but remember that I'm using penetration pricing. I know that with penetration pricing, my average revenue per user should be between $30 and $50. Usually, this is my target. So using $100 makes no sense at all. In my case, I'm going to return and put here in the middle of this category of between 30 and 50, so I put like 40. So this seems to be much more reasonable, but as you can see, I'm going to lose money with this strategy. If I can't have something like this, then I have some small profit. As you can see, being reasonable in terms of market penetration and average revenue per user, in Canada I can have profit, yes. I can have some customers, yes, but I'm not going to have an awesome result. My result is really unlikely that I'm going to have an outstanding performance. Basically because we don't have enough people in the country, and it's unlikely that all customers that more than 10% of the population use my app. So you can try this before you sending the decisions. For doing that, you're going to use this online link here. Basically, you just need to click in this online link, or you can use this QR code and enter the information and send it. Let's show how you can do that. So once you have the link, you just need to click here in the online link, and then you go to this online form. So first of all, you need to enter here your institutional email. For instance, I can use this email here to represent my, then I'll be able to receive a copy of my decisions and as a receipt of my activity. And also you need to type your full name just to identify yourself, select your course, and then you enter your decision. In that case, I'm going to click here and I'm going to select United Kingdom. Suppose that in the end I'm choosing Greenfield, and the communication I'm going to use promotion adaptation, pricing strategy penetration pricing. I'm going to use intensive distribution, market sales expenses. I'm going to spend a lot of money on that, the maximum, and the type of agency will be local agency. So I just need to go here and click and send the answers. It's asking me to verify something. Okay, I'm going to verify. Okay, and then I sent my decision. You're going to receive a copy of your decisions in your email. And that's it for this decision. After sending your decision, then you need to wait a little bit, and then you're going to receive the report with your actual results and also some general feedback from the simulation for all the class and also for you. And that's it. See you in the results video. Bye.